Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is March 12th, 2018. We're rocking out to some Most Def. Want to give a shout outs to my man Coco. And Coco actually sent me some pasta from France too, man. So good, great, and gracious supporter of the Crypto Blood and Webbot chat room community. What's going on, Coco? I just want to give a shout out to you. He said here he wants to hear some Most Def Mathematics produced by DJ Premier. This is a sweet joint. This is real hip hop right here for you for sure. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. And today we're going to talk about these markets. They're very schizophrenic in my opinion. So we're going to look at what's going on here, man. It's crazy, and I have some analysis that should be interesting. Should be interesting to you guys. So before I get into that, I do want to show you guys I am smoking today a Monte Cristo Edmundo. Very good stick, man. This is a Cuban, but I've had many Cubans, but this one has a very peculiar and unique taste. I just love it. So this is what I'm smoking today, people. Monte Cristo Edmundo. Great stick, great stick. Check it out here if you can. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of, yeah, it's out of focus. Never mind. Just take my word for it. So yeah, today we're going to look at these markets here going crazy, and really we can look at the actual market cap really quickly. It's 371 billion market cap. Bitcoin's dominance is at 41%. And what I really want to show you guys is this massive move down. We got a huge smackdown. What's interesting though, I told you guys above 9,600. If we traded above 9,600, that was good. But as you can see in this area right here, a lot of indecisiveness right here. It's just kind of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right around where my line is. So, and the bulls tried to take over right there. If you can see that green candle, that large hour, I'm on the hour chart here. So this one chart or candle here, the bulls tried to make a rally up. The next few hours, it faded off, and then the bears took right back over, slammed it right back below both support lines. And I mean, I gotta say, people, still bearish on this market. I'm just not seeing, from a technical standpoint, seeing anything that is giving me the go ahead, the green light to say, yeah, we're back in this rally. So let's just kind of keep an eye on that. I'm not convinced yet, people. I am not convinced. Let me know your thoughts on sentiment in the markets, cryptocurrency markets. As we know, Bitcoin follows or leads the way with these cryptocurrencies. So I don't know, man. Not looking good right now. Not looking good. So the article we're going to talk about today, though, comes out of Cointelegraph. And so, you know, I reported on this. I did a breaking news video on this in the car, I think last week. And I said, hey, this is a hack, but it's not a hack on Binance itself. From what I researched and a number of sources I looked at, it was a hack on some trading bots that, you know, trade on Binance. So now I see here that Binance offers a $250,000 bounty for arrest of the hackers that did this. It says here, the Binance cryptocurrency exchange is offering a $250,000 equivalent bounty on the arrest of the hackers involved in the March 7th incident. They stated yesterday. According to the announcement, the first person to supply the information that results in a legal arrest in any jurisdiction will receive the bounty in Binance coin, BNB. which is traded and used on the Binance exchange. If there are multiple sources of information that led to the final arrest, the bounty may be split between sources. In the statement, Binance stresses the importance of a concerted effort to address crime and unethical behavior in the crypto community. They say here, to ensure a safe crypto community, we can't simply play defense. We need to actively prevent any instances of hacking before they occur, as well as follow through after the fact. Even though the hacking attempt against Binance on March 7th was not successful, it was clear it was a large-scale organized effort. This needs to be addressed. In addition to the current bounty, Binance has allocated or allotted $10 million in crypto reserves for future bounty awards against any hacking attempts on Binance. That's neat. Binance's statement, the exchange has also invited other exchanges globally to follow suit. Protecting your funds is and has always been our highest priority, they added. So users, it says here, users alerted Binance to the breach in its security after observing irregular and unauthorized transactions on their accounts. The exact method the hackers employed remains unclear. So what do you guys think? Yeah, that's cool to have a kind of slush fund or whatnot for that, but come on, like, to be honest with you, really it's just a matter of moving from these centralized exchanges. I preach this all the time, and I think a lot of you know that as well. Like, I think 2018 is going to be the year where we really hopefully move away from, and I think we'll move away from these centralized exchanges. I believe centralized exchanges will have more liquidity for probably the next year or two. But as more and more people move to those centralized exchanges, you will see the liquidity pools amongst those smart contracts on the decentralized sides increase. So we'll see what happens. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say regarding that. And I want to talk about another topic which comes out of Zero Hedge about this bond market, guys. Like, we got to really keep an eye on this. I think it was in, it was actually a call in from last week's Off the Chain live stream, and a gentleman asked me, what do you think, which will happen first? Will we have like a black swan event, or will we see the successful implementations and rollouts of these projects, these crypto projects? Will we see that be the catalyst for a move up in the markets from a macro standpoint? And I told him it's either or. It's whichever one comes first. I do believe that a black swan event in the legacy system would be have a much shorter impact on the crypto market, in my opinion, and that's in a positive manner. I don't think it'll really affect it negatively. But this article, and I'll pull it up, it's out of Zero Hedge, and it says here, a bond short squeeze is coming. Rising U.S. interest rates, it says here, have been the main topic of discussion among financial market participants over the past several months. The mainstream narrative goes like this: the economy is doing well, employment is low, job growth is steady, the housing market is improving, and interest rates will continue to rise to reflect this new reality. Traders and investors have been buying this narrative book or hook and line and sink, and have been dumping treasury bonds, which has sent yields higher. So here's a chart here that kind of shows you the aggregate treasury futures net spec position on the 10-year yield. It's the lowest I can tell in ever. So it says here, as the chart below shows, the 10-year treasury yield has broken above a trend line that goes all the way back to 1987. And they're referring to this one here. I've got a blown up version of it so you guys can see it better on the screen. But look at that. This happened. The breakout actually happened in 2017. I think first quarter, second quarter of 2017. And it tried to break back below. As you can see, it bounced right back on the top side of that trend line, that downtrend. But it did not successfully drop back down. So we're heading higher, and we're almost touching a pivotal area to the left there. And for you guys that don't know, when you see, I'm gonna go back to the actual image. When you see bond, so this is the actual yield, but when you see bond prices drop, which is the inverse of this chart, when you see bond prices drop, the yields start to go up. So this is what's happening. The yields are starting to head upwards because the bond prices are heading down. It's an inverse relationship with the bond market, with bonds, I should say. So the article goes on to say here, while this breakout should be watched closely, there are some caveats to keep in mind. A breakout from downtrend line doesn't usually signal the imminent start of a bull market, but rather a change from a downtrend to a sideways trend. In addition, investors should be aware of the risk of head fakes, and false breakouts, which is what happened in 2006 and 7. Back then, the investors believed that the economic boom was sustainable and the higher rates were inevitable. But those higher rates put an end to the U.S. housing and credit bubble, which led to a bear market in the equities and a continuation of the bull market in the U.S. Treasury bonds. And this is what I think, people, the Fed, the government, they falsely made this a recovery, and in doing that, in a recovery, your bond yields go up. People don't want bond yields anymore because they can make money. They can get more yield from their money in other avenues. So they start selling their bonds. That increases the yield curve, or the yield percentage. And in doing that, because the Fed has created this falsely bullish environment for us, economic environment in the U.S. and around the world as well. In doing that, when yields start to go up, it really, because the economy is really not that good, they can't sustain and take those higher yields. So individuals looking to buy homes, if yields start to go up as they have been, that's going to affect people's ability to purchase homes, get financing. It's going to cost more. The cost of money increases. So consumer loans, credit card debt, all that is tied to 10-year treasuries. That's only going to stop whatever economic recovery we've got. And I think it's going to end badly. But with that being said, as that starts to happen, I think Wall Street will start to turn to cryptocurrencies. That's kind of my overall thesis for cryptos in the next, from a macro standpoint, in the next 2 to 3 years. I think it's going to just balloon out of control and may get into a bubble in the next 2 to 3 years. I'm referring to cryptocurrencies. Maybe in a bubble in the next 2 to 3 years. Doesn't mean it's going to pop, but if we start to get market caps in the cryptos, 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 15 trillion, I think that is going to be the case in the next 2 years, and all because of these central banks, just funny money, huge manipulation since 2018, and actually before then as well. But the manipulation from prior to 2008 is what caused 2008. And the manipulation post 2008 in the financial crisis is what's going to cause the next crisis. So it's just they just inflate and pop bubbles all over the place. and it will eventually inflate and spill over into the cryptocurrency space. But you know, I'm positioning myself, and have been for the last 5 years, ahead of this, so that when that time comes, I'm in there deep, and I can take profits toward the top. You know, that's the whole point, people. And so, let me know your thoughts on that second article as well. I want to know what you guys feel about the interest rates, bond yields spiking. Will they continue up? I personally think they will, and we may have a melt up. You know, it's been the correlation with equities and bond yields have been all messed up the last few years since this QE stuff has gone on, because normally if you have a spike in interest rates in the bond market, you start to see equities rise or decrease, I should say. But you know, we're in such a manipulated market, we're not seeing that. So definitely want to hear what you guys feel about that. Are you positioning yourselves? You should be well ahead of it. You don't want to be trying to get into cryptos or more into cryptos. Most of my audience is already in cryptocurrencies, but you don't want to be late to the game. You want to be it's better to be early than late and not catch it at all. So let me know your thoughts on that, people. Just my 2 Satoshis, as you know it. Make sure again you like and subscribe and click that bell if you haven't already. All right, it's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Holla. Yeah.